Hey guys, I hope you're doing well on this Easter weekend, Resurrection weekend. I'm on my way up to 101 to spend some time with family and enjoy the time off. And it's a little cold out here, a little bit windy, but the good weather's right around the corner. At least it's not raining. I'm out here at Redwood Creek. Some of you, if you're local, will know it, but yeah, there's a walking trail. It's really nice. I just want to show you around real quick. There's nobody out here. There's like 2 people in the parking lot. And the trail goes up behind those alders and stuff, and it goes along the redwood line there. And I don't know how far back in. I never have gone way back in there. Beautiful spot. If you're ever visiting California, if you're not local, it's worth stopping by. It's right by Oregon. So I stop by here from time to time on my way up to visit family and stuff. Oh, hold on. Tripod is rebelling. Okay. Let me adjust. So this is going to be a 2-part video. First part just going to be just a nice courteous thank you and all that to you guys, and then the second part's going to be a much more personal part. So if you just want to stick around for one and not the other, that's understandable. So let's jump into the first part, which is there's quite a few of you guys who are new subscribers and stuff. The channel's growing really nicely, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I understand that, to hit that subscribe button, that means something. If you're like me, you get all these subscriptions going, and then it just gets to be too much. And there's so many people on YouTube competing for your views, competing for your eyeballs. So the fact that you guys, so many of you have taken the time to hit that subscribe button and done all that and be a part of the channel and comment, I feel very privileged and grateful. This is not an easy platform to grow on. Like I said, there's just I think there's like 60 million YouTubers. I googled it recently. It's like 60 million people, creators, not viewers. I'm talking creators. So the fact that you guys hit that subscribe button, awesome. Thank you so much. And what else did I want to say? Of course, happy Easter, happy Resurrection Day. Hope you're going to have a great weekend with family, do some fun stuff. And so here's the part of the video where I'm going to do a little bit of a split. I'm going to go into a personal story. It's a spiritual story. It's something personal that happened to me. And I know some people aren't comfortable with that type of thing, so I'm just going to take a moment. If that's not something you're interested in and you just want to view the other content, once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the channel, all that stuff. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in other cutting videos ahead. I'll give you a moment to hit the off button or move to another video or whatever, and then for those of you that are staying behind and want to hear the story, then we'll start here in a second. Okay. All right. So into the personal spiritual story. So this is my born again story. Even though I was raised in a Christian household, I definitely would say that I was not born again until a certain point of time, and that point of time was April 1st, 2011. And it was a specific day, it was a specific time of the day, around 10 a.m. or so, and it was not in a church. It was actually like this April 1st coming up. And no, it's not lost on me that it's April Fool's Day. So yes, I think God does have a sense of humor on this one. So but that was the day that for whatever reason he chose to show up in my life at that time. Not that he wasn't always there, but just that we connected, and that was out at work on a spring day. It was actually much warmer than this day. I remember the sun being out, and it was, I wouldn't say it was hot, but it was a nice day, and I was out working, sun shining. I could actually see the ocean from where I was working. It was beautiful. But my life was not good at that point in time. I was at the end of a 17-year marriage. Tragic end. It's still a tragic story. We had 4 kids together. We have 4 kids together, and she had fallen back into old habits. I've never really talked about this. I did give my testimony a couple years afterwards, one time at church about this, but never really talked about this on camera before. So yeah, it was tragic. I'm not going to go into details, but long story short, she fell into old habits, like the hard drugs that she had gotten away from for so long, just kind of came back into her life, and took over and wreaked total destruction. And I don't want to make that like a trump card, like I didn't play my role in the marriage ending or anything like that, because that's not true. There's always 2 parts to every story. I had my issues and problems. At that time, I was, drinking too much, and I was in my own mire, if you will. So don't want to just use that as a trump card, because it wasn't. But that's really what happened. She kind of went down that path, and the marriage was ending. So I was in a very, very dark place. The kids were lost and confused. There wasn't much I knew what to do or say to help them. And really, I didn't have anything inside me to give to anybody else. That was one of the main issues. And I just felt like I was just missing so much, and I didn't have anything to give to myself, let alone anybody else. It was just a dark, dark place. I didn't feel like there was a God. It was kind of a long journey. We had been in the Mormon church, which I now know and believe is a complete false religion. We had gone through that, and I just had come to the conclusion, this ain't it. This is not, this God is not here. This is a fabricated, man-made thing, completely wrong. And I was right about that. But where I went wrong was I really, had gone from that to agnostic to really, at that time, I was basically, I would say, atheist. I would I don't know, not like 100% atheist, like there was still a remnant of me that believed that there could be a God, but I didn't believe he could be personal, for starters. I didn't believe he could be personal, and I fully didn't believe that he cared about me as a person. Like, I didn't feel or think or believe that God cared about me at all, let alone love me, if he even did exist. Like, he was just cold and impersonal and didn't care, and because I just couldn't feel it, I couldn't see it in my life. My life was a living hell, and I didn't see how God had anything to do with anything, honestly. So it was a dark time, to say the least. But I had a person in my life that was telling me about God, telling me about Christ, which I already knew a lot of these things. But what really shifted was on that day was I encountered God in a way that I'd never encountered him before. And it's so hard to describe. Like, I try to put into words how it was, and it's hard to put into words what a spiritual experience is like what I had that day. I do my best, but it's very difficult. I mean, the best way I could explain it was I was, in a place of complete, the end. I felt like I had reached the end of myself. I saw that I did not have the capability and the tools to fix things in life, in my own life, let alone the life of my family, let alone the life of anybody else. Like I had nothing. Like, if there's such a thing as, well, there is such a thing as spiritual bankruptcy, I was there. Everything was gone. I had nothing to give, no way to help myself, no way to get through what I was going through emotionally, spiritually. It was so bad. I remember during that time pulling off to the side of the road because I'd have anxiety attacks so bad that I couldn't even drive to work. Like sometimes I'd have to pull off as I was driving to work multiple times just because my body was shutting down. Like so not only was I spiritually bankrupt, I was almost physically bankrupt in a way. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a spot like this, but I guess you could say it was the lowest of the low. And I couldn't haven't imagined the time of being now here years and years later where that's, it's a distant memory, but it's still something I reference back to. And so when people talk to me, about being down in the lowest of the low, I can just tell you I've been there. And the happy news is that there's from that low isn't necessarily a bad thing, because from there you can, there can be something that comes out of that. And that's what happened for me. So down in that lowest of low, I did encounter God in a very real way. And I told him, I need help me. I'm done. I have no direction to go, no way to go. And he revealed himself to me in a way that was just, it was incredible. Like, I felt the love of God come over me. I felt, I heard a voice in my mind that said there's one that loves like no other. And then the words came across my mind. This is why it's so hard to describe. Jesus Christ in red letters. And then it was like the door to my heart opened up and Jesus walked in, or God walked in, or whatever you want to say. If you don't believe in these type of things, all I can say is it's like God walked into me, and I could feel everything start to change. Like it was like a wind circling through me, like a spiritual wind. And it was amazing. It's just like everything was realigning. And this went on for at least 2 weeks of that powerful of a realignment. And so I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit further now. Did I experience that level of, that connection with God at that level for, ever? No, I kind of eventually went back to more of a, normal day-to-day type of thing, where I'd, now probably I experience God a lot more through like worship music and different things. I don't have, I feel like the realignment at that point, he did that. And then it didn't make me perfect or anything. It didn't make me so that I didn't, still have things I had to overcome in my life, or whatever. There were still things that I struggled with and overcame, and there were still plenty of struggles ahead from that point. But from that point on, I never questioned, and I still never question the reality. So really, it was going from Jesus Christ and God, Heavenly Father, and all that being a theory, something I knew about, something I knew of, to actually being a solid reality, where now it's like, do I know everything about Jesus Christ? No, but do I know that he's real, and that he's exists, and that he loves me, and that he loves you, and he loves humanity, and that he has offered salvation to all of us through a simple belief in him? Yeah, I know that, and it's no longer a theory. And so that's the beautiful thing. Doesn't mean you won't have struggles in life and all that. It just means in the end, we have eternal life with him as believers when we put our faith in him for salvation. And it's such an amazing thing, and I enjoy sharing it with people. I understand a lot of people feel pessimistic about it or whatever, and I certainly did. I felt like I wanted nothing to do with God or religion, but once you start to understand that a lot of the things that we know or learn about religion are really worldly things, and they're actually not of God. So sometimes our experiences that we think are with God or from God are actually not. They're experiences with institutional churches and stuff, and I could tell you right now that God does not live in institutional churches. He lives in the hearts and souls and minds of believers, and that is the church. So there's a beautiful thing, there's a real thing, that relationship with Jesus Christ. That's really what I want to leave with you guys today, is that relationship with Jesus Christ is a real thing. It's not something that can be fabricated through lights and smoke shows and the different things that these churches do. But this is just like a real everyday thing that we have, this relationship we have with him, and it all starts with us putting our faith in him. And of course, everybody's experience is different. Some people come to Christ very slowly over time, and but the salvation part is when a person puts their faith in Christ. And so it's just this thing where I guess I just want people to understand, like, don't give up on having that relationship with God, because it's a very real thing. It'll change your eternity, but it also change your life here, and it's hope. It's hope in knowing that this isn't all there is. Yes, we're going to go through the struggles of this life, but there's so much more than this, and there's beauty even in this life and in the struggles, and we can connect with God in various ways. I connect with him through his word, worship music, and a lot through creation, because look at his eye for beauty and stuff. When you look around in creation, you can see his personality is in creation. But think about this. I'll leave you with this one final thought. This is the temporal creation that we're looking at here. This is not the eternal. So this is just a shadow of what the eternal, what eternity is, what heaven is, this is like the subdued version. So imagine the eternal version, where you don't have the death and the decay and all that. You take all that away. That's what we have to look forward to. So we can enjoy the temporal version. It is very beautiful, but I suspect if you stacked it up to that eternal version, it would probably pale. I think it does. Paul alludes to that in, I can't remember, where he talks about the different, you know, if you could see it, you'd basically off yourself to get to heaven, kind of a thing. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. All right, we're at 20 minutes here. I think we'll shut it down, but hopefully you got something valuable out of that. And yeah, if you hung around at the end, I'm glad you're here. God bless you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.